Hello everybody, welcome along to Anglesey Classic Sports Car Club here in Wales in what is glorious, glorious sunshine. Chris Buxton joins me. Chris, it's great to be back at Anglesey and we're going to have a wander around the paddock and catch up with a few people. It's great to be back though.
Absolutely. The club has been here quite a few times over the years. It's my first visit here, and the scenery alone is just something breathtaking. These cars look so resplendent in the sunshine. I'm so looking forward to this weekend.
Well, last time we were here, it was September of 2021. We went racing into the night as well, so it's something very different for the drivers. It's a circuit that most drivers absolutely love. We can see that we've got, as ever, a few of the MX-5s. They'll be out racing in Future Classics over the course of the weekend. Two separate groups for Future Classics, the 70s and the 80s. They're racing separately this weekend, which is quite unusual for the club. As we carry on down, well, here's a gentleman I do want to catch up with, actually, because this guy here, brand new car, first time out. I don't know him at all. He's about to walk away, but we're going to try and doorstop him. His first time out with the club, so I'm going to see if I can catch up with him. Hello, sir. Have you got time for a quick word with us? Because I know it's your first time out in that car, your first time with the club, and we're delighted to have you.
It's not my first time out in the car, it's not my first time with the club.
But yeah, the car's re-prepped, isn't it?
Yeah, the car it blew its engine the first time I took it out, and I spent the last year trying to rebuild it. So I think I did about 3 laps in it so far.
Blood, sweat, tears, everything gone into getting out?
Yeah, it's just taken a long time to getting parts during the last year, but for me, just finishing will be a good thing. So we'll see how it goes.
Finish will feel like a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a great one. There we go. So I thought it was his first time out. I knew he'd been posting on social media, but it's about the rebuild of the car. Another car that first time I think we've seen this one out is an Ariel Atom. Christian Douglas, who we're used to seeing racing in things like TVR Tuscans with us in the past, but this fantastic Ariel Atom that he's bringing out for this weekend. Chris, exoskeleton car, very unique, isn't it, the Atom?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's very, very few of these have come through the club. I can recall twice seeing Ariel Atoms in the entry list, and that was back in 2018. So they're very, very rare beasts. But yeah, we're used to seeing Christian Douglas in the 777 Tuscan. Absolutely. Well, a Tuscan is always going to fly, irrespective of where it is flying. And I reckon the Ariel Atom in particular, because it's so light and the power-to-weight ratio is so good, is going to really, really do well around the twists and turns, particularly the middle part of this track.
It's not a standard Atom as well, because the Ariel Atom's designed really for mechanical grip. You look at this, it's got a great big front wing on it, a massive rear wing on it. I notice it's got side pods as well, which is, again, another modification from a standard Atom. So not only has it got the power, not only is it light, it's going to have the aero and the downforce on this car. So I'm really, really interested to see how Christian Douglas gets on with that one. As ever, loads of variety. We look to where we're heading towards now. There's a beautiful Lotus Cortina Mark 1. That car will be out in the swinging 60s race in a little bit. Just watch your back as you step over that bit. There we go. Don't want to kill the cameraman, do we? So yeah, beautiful little Lotus Cortina.
Here's
911 RSR. We always have so much variety, don't we, in terms of the entries?
Very true, but it's also good to see a lot of returning names. There's a number of people. Keir Edmonds is one of them in the 911. There's been a few of those, particularly here, this Diet Coke flavoured BMW, Dave Griffin, pre-93 touring car champion. This car has been to so many Classic Sports Car Club meetings over the years. He's got a BMW E90 as well in his fleet that he's doing very, very well in. So very much looking forward to seeing how well David does. He almost wins pretty much everywhere he takes that BMW.
He is, yeah. He was driving with a co-driver at Snetterton, if memory serves me correctly. I didn't do the following round, which was at Thruxton, but that's a circuit that would really suit that car, wouldn't it? Open up the taps here, slightly twisty, far more technical than the previous round, which was at Thruxton.
Yeah, it stormed Snetterton, that car, it really did. But then under the very heavy right foot of Mr. Griffin, he was a very, very nice man. He seems so down to earth, but then behind the wheel, by his own admission, he's an absolute animal. But of course, safety first.
So if
one of our shared drivers there, the number 40X, that's the Phil Stader Mike Henny combination. So they'll be operating 2 cars. So when they come to do their race, and there is the other one, the number 40 car. Over cameraman's right. So one car will start the race, and when they do their mandatory pit stop, the other one will go out in its place.
Right, I'm going to see if I can grab another driver here, which is Hannah Bryan, who doesn't know that I'm coming. So she's trying to get the crash helmet out of the car, but we're going to see if we can grab a quick word with Hannah. Can we trouble you, Hannah? I know you're not expecting us, but nice to see you on the grid this weekend, and great to be at Anglesey.
Yeah, I've never been here before, so it should be interesting. I was watching yesterday. I'm wishing I'd been testing yesterday, but didn't test yesterday, and I'm regretting that ever so slightly now.
You've seen Anglesey in the best possible weather. It's not always like this, but what a track.
It's gorgeous. The only advice I got from two other drivers was when you go around this corner, don't get distracted by the seaside. So that's my key job, is not to go, oh, the seaside. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, it was great to get the Metro back out again.
It's great to see it back out.
Yeah, I love it. So it's a little go-kart, so I love driving it. So it should be good fun. I'm looking forward to learning the circuit.
Learning it during qualifying.
Yeah, obviously, which is what I have a nasty habit of doing. So good luck to me.
Well, very good luck. Have a great one. There we go. There's Hannah Bryan and that fantastic little Metro.
That's another rare beast, actually, the Metro. We've seen one in the special saloons and mod sports before, but it's been a while since we've seen one on the grid.
Is it worth having a chat to a committee member, do you think? Because we've got one of the committee members over there, Stuart Levers, we could grab a word with.
We'll be told off if we don't.
Well, let's go and... Stuart, can we have a quick chat? Are you going? Go on, you go for it.
Oh, Stuart. So here we are back at Anglesey. Just for those that don't know kind of all the setup, how many man-hours goes into a setup of this kind of event?
Oh, Christ. We're spending weeks and weeks, almost building up from last year that the event will be already in the planning stages of going forward to kind of start introducing the dates, the calendar, what's happening over the 2 days. So, yeah, it's almost a year before we actually get here, and when the weather's like this, it's a fantastic kind of almost end to all the hard work that goes into it, really.
You're the driver representative for the Co-Ord Sports Tin Tops. On the whole, they're a well-behaved bunch. On occasions, they maybe cause you a few issues.
They're a great bunch. I've run the Tin Tops for, it's going to be 10, 15 years now. We have some fantastic guys. We've got such a mixed range of guys who have got, quite comfortable budgets, to also the 9-to-5 guys, as we call it, who work tirelessly hard. Their budgets are done from their overtime. So we have such a diverse group, male, female drivers. They're a good bunch. Yes, we have stresses. It's life. We do have stresses with it, but ultimately, a fantastic bunch. I'm proud of what they do. We have great grids. Yes, unfortunately, this weekend we've got lower grids, but that's because we've got Brands next weekend on the GP circuit. Yeah. Fantastic circuit, fantastic guys. Yeah, they're a great crowd.
They do you proud. Well done. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks for all your help.
So
there we go.
Shall.
Stuart Levers used to race himself. At Poacher turned gamekeeper, you could argue, but yeah, he's been a fundamental part of the Classic Sports Car Club for a very good number of years. Wonder who else we've got down here. I was wondering if we might go and have a chat to Amp Speed, or maybe Stephen Pickering, have a look at something a bit different there, the Sunbeam Tiger, which is, again, a car that Stephen's been racing with us for a good number of years. V8, of course, Sunbeam, one of many British brands that have disappeared over the years, but it's nice to see them all out and still racing, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I remember this one of a 5-car battle that was at Donington 2 years ago, and it was just absolutely pulling well above its weight. It was wonderful to watch, and again, looking forward to much the same today.
Well, first time I really sort of bumped into seeing Sunbeam Tigers was there was a Northern Irish gentleman called Jackie Cochran who used to race a really heavily modified one in the Aston Martin Owners Club Series, Anglo-American Challenge back in the 1990s. But yeah, always nice to see out a Sunbeam Tiger. Of course, we do sometimes have the Alpine out as well. The Tiger was the V8 engine car, wasn't it? The Alpine was the 4-cylinder, wasn't it?
It's deceptive as well, because it's such a small body that has contained a huge amount of power. Here's another rarity, the Reliance Scimitar. Again, not a commonly chosen car. It's great to see, again, referring to the diversity we have in the different types of cars. You really don't see many of these Scimitars still in the wild.
No, very few indeed. It's Phil Otley's example. That one, again, Phil's been racing with us for a good number of years, so we'll see him out in the Adams and Page swinging 60s. Later on.
They look showroom new as well. They take such good care of their cars. Unless you look too closely, and then you see the war wounds of the past. But generally, I just love how well these cars are prepared, and all the care and attention that goes into these cars. As Steele was explaining, you've got those that do have the more comfortable budgets. You have those that just go, almost racing hand to mouth. But it's all done for the pure love of racing. That's what I love about club racing.
You were talking about the drive over here. Hannah Bryan was talking about Anglesey. You know, it is a beautiful, beautiful part of the world, Anglesey. And if you've never been to Anglesey, I absolutely insist that you do it. Here's a driver. We're going to chat to him like this because he's dressed. Look how he's dressed. Look. So let's have a quick word with John Wolfe, who we've caught at the most inopportune moment. John, you look poised and ready for qualifying.
Yeah, we're going to blitz it this time. After 2 DNSs and a DNF, we're feeling pumped up to try and do better this time.
I can see you've clearly been working out as well, just to make sure that you're in peak physical condition.
Yeah, thanks. It's an appropriate time that you came round, really.
We couldn't have timed it
all in.
Well, if we stay here for a bit longer, eventually you'll have to let it out.
Yeah, well, I had a hernia operation a few weeks ago, so I'm still recovering from that. So that's my excuse for it. It's gone slack a bit.
Have a great qualifying.
Thanks very much.
Sorry.
Really appreciate it.
Caught him just at the wrong time, but had to do that. Absolutely.
That's why I let
that.
you do that one, Mark. I didn't want him to turn around. But that's the Tuscan V8 there in the background.
I like the way his co-driver Dave Thompson didn't step in and say, "Look, I'll do the interview," because he was fully clothed in the motorhome.
No, honour amongst thieves and all that. Yeah, they have a Grand Tourer as well in their fleet. Again, such a mixture of cars as well. Sometimes in the same racing camp, like the V8 Tuscan and an MG midget engined Grand Tourer. But again, done for the love of racing.
Yeah, TVR Grand Tourer. He's also got an Armstrong Siddeley, which he's building into a special race car for Vintage Sports Car Club Hill Climbs and racing. Used to have a Ford Falcon. I think he's got an Elan 26R as well. So, it's serious amount of cars in the garage, which is always fantastic to see. How about a nice little Alpha 33? Now, don't see many of these anymore racing. The Alpha 33. You used to see loads of them. Brunswick, an Alpha specialist that have been preparing Alphas for a good number of years. We used to have something called the Chris Knott Alfa Romeo Challenge in the UK in the 1980s and 1990s. And Class E, Class F was nothing but Alpha 33s at the time. And some very quick ones as well.
Yeah, again, it's a shame that we don't see very many of these in a while. Again, wonderfully turned out, absolutely resplendent, with the backdrop of the Petch and Petch, or Petch family, I should say. There's 3 Petches that share this car. This gorgeous Ginetta. Again, this has been a regular haunt in the last few years.
The G50, isn't it? Yeah, which was superseded by the G55, and now that in itself has been superseded by the G56, which is the V8 engine car that you see racing in things like the British Touring Car Support Package, which will be down at Brands Hatch this weekend. You'll see the G56 Super Cup.
They had a Ford Fiesta before that, which one of the Petch sons. His father and 3 sons, if I remember. One of them crashed it, so they then upgraded to a Ginetta. I mean, that's quite a jump.
I think I might have been at Snetterton for the crash, and unfortunately, whilst they were fine, the car wasn't. The car actually ended up over the barriers through at Murray's, the final corner, I think it was. Let's wonder and see whether we can have a final word, maybe, with Sussex Road and Race. See whether Kevin is around, the man behind Sussex Road and Race, who is busy preparing a raft of largely minis for this weekend, but I see he's also got a Honda Civic with him as well, so he's a busy chap. Oh, right.
He's disappeared.
They're all out in qualifying, aren't they? They're all out in qualifying, so we won't.
Here's another car we can showcase here, another driver representative, John Baker.
John Baker.
In the tangerine flavoured Clio. It's quite a common, comparatively common collection in the Classic Sports Car Club. The Clios have their own category within their own class within the Tin Tops category, along with the Ford Fiestas. Again, a class completely dedicated to the one mark. But again, John has been a regular in this category for a very, very long time.
Good morning, John.
Morning.
How are we? Have we got a chance for a word?
Yes, you have.
Do you want to do it, Chris?
Absolutely. Now, this car has been in your collection for quite a number of years. Again, you've been
3 years, yeah.
and you've been involved in the club for how long now?
2013. So I'm also Modern Classics driver rep as well. So it makes really busy weekends, especially when this weekend we're just racing because we're doing racing Saturday and Sunday. And Modern Classics have got to look after themselves this weekend. But no, the car's changed. We came here 3 years ago with a car that we'd bought 2 weeks before. And managed to get out yesterday to check what the diff made difference to it, the anti-roll bar on it. Totally different colour scheme. We used to race under Team Orange in a Honda DC2. Because the DC2 was longer, we got a smaller car, hence the Satsuma Racing. So it helps make a spectacle.
Absolutely. Well, spectacle's certainly true. You won't miss this car coming. But again, what kind of duties and responsibilities go into being a driver representative? What falls on your shoulders in that role?
Basically, it's just making sure that all the new drivers know exactly when they've got to be in assembly area, they've got their licence, have they got all the right stickers for the cars, do the cars conform? So you're looking at, because we run 4 simple categories, you have to check that they run standard silhouette from the factory. They haven't got any aftermarket parts on that don't meet those requirements. That there's no silly wings. That they haven't taken too much body weight out or anything. And the silhouette stayed the same. That you haven't got big scoops on in the roof and everything. It's because you're not allowed to run them. So there's all of that. There's all the behind the scenes. People want to email you, can our car come and join? And obviously, the committee does an awful lot of work behind the scenes. We have regular committee meetings discussing anything and everything to do with regulations, where we want to be in the next couple of years, and how the club's doing. And it's great to be part of such a great, cracking club.
So you're the headmaster of the category, basically.
Yeah, sort of. But it's great because you get to see a totally different side, and the drivers know who you are, and then you can walk around there, all the paddock, and everybody says hello to you, and it's great because everybody knows me. They can approach me. I can approach them as well. If I've got a sticky subject that I need to approach the drivers with, I know I can go up to any of them, and they don't take offence. They listen to what you've got to say. They will act on it, and they will also ask you questions then, because you build that two-way respect with them. And I think it's important for all the club.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, John Baker. Enjoy your weekend and best of luck out there.
So Satsuma Racing, of course, there is a corner called Peel, isn't there, here as well?
Yeah, there is indeed.
So don't go off at Peel. Absolutely. Let's wander down this way, because whilst we've been talking about committee members and how important they are, as well as our competitors, we also need to talk about the sponsors as well. Now, Coord Sport are one of our sponsors with the Tin Top Series, and Paul's in the middle of one conversation here, but I'm going to see whether I can dive in and grab a quick word with him. Paul, just want to chat to you about, Coord Sport, your company supporting Tin Tops this year. You've been a member of the club, you've been a racer in the club, but now your company's supporting as well.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm enjoying supporting the series, and the CSCC has been a great series for ourselves and helping the teams and drivers. I used to race in the series back in 2014 and 15, and good competitive racing, clean racing, respectable racing, and obviously good commentators.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Coord Sport, just tell us about your company then, because whilst you provide a Driver of the Day award, you provide lots of components to the teams as well.
Yeah, of course, we try and keep the cars on the circuit, so with brakes, clutches, the usable wearable parts. That's always a problem, and usually we keep a few things, like helping this guy out with an exhaust mount just here. But it's about providing a service. It's not just about actually sponsoring the series. We're actually here, actually at the track, helping the drivers, working with the drivers, helping the teams. We give a driver's discount to some teams, so if anybody is interested in that, we can help with that as well. But the background of Coord Sports is we're a distributor of performance parts, and we have been for nearly 35 years now. So we've been about a fair bit, and a little bit underground, with a bit of a trade secret to most people. So that's us really.
When are you coming back out racing as well? We know you've got a few cars in the garage. You're a big Ford man, so will we see you back out?
Actually, I'm out next weekend in the C1, so I'm out for the 24-hour race. So I'm looking forward to that, to have a squirt and whatnot.
And it won't be your first 24. You've done the C1s before. Have you done a 21 before?
I haven't done a 24-hour, but I've done the C1s all last year. I helped a colleague out, a local garage, Jamie, and he asked me to come on board and help him out, and I enjoyed it. Had a great time. But I'm missing the Tin Tops guys and the weather today. Make the most of it. And Anglesey is a great circuit.
So Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, flat out down there, even in a tow, probably 93, 94 miles an hour if memory serves me correctly. How many cars on the grid? Because when I raced it, there were 99 started.
Yeah, it's a little bit different this time. There is a problem with the likes of Nankang. They don't have rubber at the moment, so there is a few problems with that. I think there's 63 cars as far as I saw on the entry, so it'll be some good racing, I'm sure.
Have a great one, and thanks for supporting the club.
Thank you.
There we go. So that's caught up with someone else. We're in the section now where, again, we've got this enormous variety. So we've got, Datsun 240Z, we've got the Adele Ford Fiestas, a couple of them. We've got Paul Bolton's lovely PlayStation Academy Nissan, Simon Benoy's Hillman. But again, just that fantastic variety. The different, for me, it's the different colours, the shapes, the sizes, and the sounds.
And then a very bright Porsche GT3 Cup car right behind this particular collection, the 386 car. Yeah, but something that John Baker was saying is the friendliness, the approachability of the club is something that the CSCC is really, really renowned for. Now, I've not been with the club particularly long, but that is exactly what I have found. Every single driver I've approached, even with the clipboard, and they initially look at me skeptically, thinking I'm going to collect money from them. But they're so happy to chat. They're so happy to share their experiences, talk about their cars. And no one yet has turned me away. There's always a first time, but yeah, the approachability, the friendliness of the club has always been one of the constant advertising points that every driver I've spoken to so far has agreed with.
Yeah, and for me, I agree as well. I've been with the club since their very first ever meeting, so however long that is now, 17, 18 years. So we've got, by the look of things, Richard Perry just adjusting the brakes on his beautiful little frog-eyed Sprite. So, as ever, even though qualifying has happened for these cars, there's still work to be done as well. Now, this is one car that you were waxing lyrical about earlier on, the little Alfa Romeo Zagato that we see here. Really rare car. There's only 4 of these racing in the world at the moment, so beautiful to see it out.
Absolutely. Very, very rare, and because of that, the parts are so difficult to get a hold of. But Nick Edmonds is an online parts distributor and retailer, so he's in a position to be able to get hold of parts with these things. He's not had the best of luck with these. He's only raced it 3 times and yet to see the flag in any of them. So he's looking forward to a bit more luck with this Zagato. And as far as he knows, it's the only racing example of this in this country.
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo Junior Zagato as its badge. Beautiful car, left-hand drive, as you can see.
It was based on the Spider until Zagato then had a go at designing the body shell, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it is about Italian designers, but they just seem to nail it all the time, don't they? Whether it be Pininfarina, whether it be Zagato, whether it be...
Absolutely.
All of, he's here. Oh, he's here. Oh, he's arrived. He's arrived. Well, at least you are dressed appropriately. We bumped into one driver earlier on, and we spoke to him anyway, who was definitely not dressed appropriately. We were just saying about your Alfa Romeo Junior Zagato, rare old car. Last time you were here at Anglesey a couple of years ago, when I think I spoke to you, it was slightly troubled. How's it gone so far? Because you were testing yesterday as well.
No, we didn't test yesterday. Too much money, shoestrings.
Oh, the car was here though, wasn't it?
The car was here. Yeah, we just thought we'd get here early. As the missus is away on holiday, I thought, well, that's what we do. But no, cars run really well. We don't have the power of the MG and Sprite-based things. I think we're about 100 kilos heavier and about 35 horsepower down. So, as you can see, it's all down to skill.
and horsepower, and particularly with gradients here as well, that lack of horsepower, you'll notice it with the extra weight and the lack of horsepower when you're going up the hill towards Rocket.
That's the problem. I'm coming through the corner over here. I can never remember the name. But I'm coming through Church, and I've got to change up halfway through the corner into 4th. And so I'm pulling up the straight in 4th gear, and the tacho's just moving ever so slowly up. So, listen, it's a fun car. I don't think it was ever going to win anything with a 1300 engine in, but that's the original thing. I could put a 2-litre engine in and move up a class, which might do at some point. But no, the car is what it is. There's 4 of these in the world as race cars. It's the only one in the UK.
How long have you had it?
Oh, a long time. I found it as a body shell in Germany, with not a nut or bolt or anything on it, and picked it up. And the problem is finding parts for them, and the parts are just ridiculously expensive. Certainly, body parts and bits of trim and thing. They were an expensive car when they were made. They were double the price of an E-Type in 1969. So you can imagine how many they sold.
Not that many, no, not that many. But beautiful car. So, yeah, good luck out there. Have a great one.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
And come on, Liverpool today.
Oh, of course, yeah. FA Cup final, yeah. We know who will be supporting the FA Cup final. You'll be watching it, I guess. Absolutely. Yeah, right, okay. Don't talk football, don't talk religion, don't talk politics. Always best, isn't it? Avoid those. Oh, dear, I see what you did there.
Here's another car that we regularly see, David Cornwallis's Radio Caroline BMW.
Yeah, the 1600 Ti, the always car number 648, because that is the frequency on which Radio Caroline transmits. So he's always run as 640. And again, another left-hand drive car. We've just seen the Alfa Romeo Junior Zagato. Well, left-hand drive 1600 Ti for David Cornwallis. Tim Cairns with his Turner. I had to think there for a split second. And then the Lotus 7 Series 2, Series 3, Series 4. 4, thank you. 1970. It's rear lights. I thought 3 or 4. I said 2. I don't know why I said 2. Right, so we've got about 5 minutes still to go. So who else can we manage to bump into? Amspeed were over there. We'll have a wander down here. How about we have a look at something like a Mini Marcos? Because I've just spotted a Mini Marcos down here. Jem Marcos used to, or Jem Marsh, who was the creator of Marcos, used to be the chairman of the club. Or a patron, our club patron, sadly passed away, did Jem some years ago. So, you know, that's a car which has a special place in the club's heart. I think Hugo Holder of the Classic Sports Club also has got one. I think he's got one. He's in the process of rebuilding it, I believe,
now,
at the moment.
there's 2 of these that are due to take place this weekend.
Yeah, the Crudgington's out in there.
That's correct, yeah. P. Crudgington will be starting that one.
There is the Crudgington.
There is the
other one.
One's the number 21 and the number 59, Sam Polly's car. Now, this has been a race winner in this category. Hasn't had it for particularly too long, but previously had a Mini that has gone to the Roodhouses that used to be nicknamed Noddy because of it's a yellow and red car. It's now actually Kermit Green in the hands of the Roodhouses. Yeah, absolutely stunning vehicle this is. So small wheels that contend with a lot of power, but wow, does it get chucked around well.
See, we can have a word with Sam, can't we? I'm sure he'll let us have a word. He nods his head. I notice he's got Owens Fabrications down the side. The Welsh wizard. We're very much in Owens territory, aren't we? Down end off Owens, who, fantastic pro. So, we'll grab a quick word with Sam if we can.
Absolutely. So then, Sam Polly, so you've had your qualifying session. Yeah. How's it running?
It's going really well. Good fun out there. It's not a lot of grip, quite slippery as always, but I'm enjoying it. I think we are P2 behind Tim, so he's obviously got a little bit more pace somewhere, but I'm really pleased with how it's gone. It's the first time we've driven the car here, so can't complain really. It's sunny and we're in Wales, it's nice. It's all good.
Now, you did really well in this car in Snetterton. If I remember rightly, the start didn't quite go well, but you still stormed through to win. Yeah. How does a track like Snetterton, which is obviously a bit longer and has got a bit more straights in it, differ as far as how you attack the circuit to here at Anglesey?
We have to go I have to go a bit steady off the start because it takes ages to heat up his back tyres. So off the line, first lap, it really doesn't have any rear end grip. So that's why I always try and take it a little bit more cautiously at the start, and then let it kind of come to you. I mean, Snetterton is very similar in many ways to this circuit. It's got some fast flowing corners. It has got a couple of tight, twisty ones in the sense of like through the chicanes and so on. This is struggling a bit here in the sense of it's a lot of understeer through the top of the hill there. It's almost more than a 90-degree sort of hairpin bend, and you just got to be patient to put the power on. It's easy to overdrive it.
How does it affect your approach to each race when you pick up that winner's penalty at the very first race meeting of the season, and you know you're going to carry that for the rest of the year? How does that change your approach to each race weekend as well?
Oh, it doesn't really. Just still go for it.
Flat out,
Flat out as fast as you can go. Really, yeah. It just keeps you as much as just gives you the motivation. I think, isn't it? You just got to use it in that sense to keep looking at it positively. I mean, it's frustrating a little bit, but it is what it is, and we just want to go as fast as we can, do as well as we can, and that's the reality.
Your main rival's just eyeing you up there as well, Sam. Tim Cairns beat you to pole.
He's quick. He always has been, and he always will be. He's a brilliant driver. He's great to race against as well. He's so fair. So I like racing against him. He's great. He's a nice guy.
Best of luck, Sam, and we very much look forward to the wonderful minty green Mini Gem, as I've nicknamed it. We look forward to seeing it being chucked around with reckless abandon.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah. I love that car, I really do. I say that quite a lot. I love a lot of the cars here. Again, we talk about how well they look and how well they turned out, and the drivers all being approachable. But, the sun is shining, beautiful, beautiful cars being turned out. I mean, what better way to spend the weekend?
Anglesey is I just think, a very special place. I've been here when it's been blowing a gale and the rain is horizontal. In fact, it's been blowing so hard, I don't think the rain actually ever hit the tarmac. It was just going horizontal totally. And it's it's difficult when the day's like that. It's hard work, but when it's like this, you know, it's beautiful. And it's always worth, if you come to Anglesey, wander down onto some of the beautiful beaches that we've got here. Church Corner is named Church for a reason. You wander down to, at the back of the circuit where Church Corner is, go down there, and then you have to wander out to, it's called the Church in the Sea. It's out on a causeway. You have to wait until the tide drops to walk out on the causeway until you can get to the church. Jamie Keevil, that'll be a car to watch later on. Jamie always goes well in Swinging 60s or Classic K that we tend to see him in as well. John Crayston as well at the wheel of his Lotus Elan. Then we come down here and we've got another beautiful looking little Sprite. So as ever, stacks and stacks of variety. What's the one race you're really looking forward to over the course of this weekend?
Oh, that's so hard to choose because the categories are so eclectic in their own way. They're so different. It's very, very hard to pick one. I mean, we've got the trying to work out which categories. So it's the Future Classics 70s and modern classics. I think that's gathering now.
Yeah.
Again, you've got a real brilliant mixture of 70s through to 90s GT cars right here. This will definitely be one of the favourites, but I look forward to seeing all of them,
including a very traditional livery, shall we say, for a Porsche. It perhaps doesn't have the advertising on that it would have done at the time. But yeah, these cars are all ready to head out into their qualifying session, and we look forward to picking up on some of the racing action later on here from Anglesey. So that's all for the moment from myself and Chris, but join us for the racing later on.